So, welcome and thank you. So, सबसे पहले first, this is a Pranam mantra for Mridanga. So, one short version is just simply Mridangaya Namo Namaha. Mridangaya, right? Sanskrit. Namo Namaha. So also first to honor Mridanga, who is also a manifestation of Baldev Prabhu. It's also it's a sacred drum. So first honoring the inviting the sacred nature of Mridanga and the celestial sounds, rhythms, things that have existed since the Big Bang or the Brahma's creation of the universe. So this is Mridanga. Should we use as Mridanga? For using it with a different purpose, it's not exactly Mridanga, but we say Mridangaya Namo Namaha with intention that we use it as Mridanga as it is, then it becomes Baldev Prabhu, you know. It already is, but and even to when Mridanga is sleeping, you know, maybe we keep covered, keep nicely, and then when Mridanga is awake, you know, we take the cover off and then we say Mridangaya Namo Namaha, and then, you know, then it's like treating it as it's a person, like a spirit, you know. There's people keep voodoo dolls and things like this. No, it's like there's some thing, or there's some, you see some creepy doll or something, some haunted antique store with some creepy doll. Maybe some spirit has entered the body of this thing, you know. So in the same way, the divine spirit of, you know, of Adi Guru, of Balaram, of Krishna's paraphernalias, you know, as Balaram also, we're inviting Balaram's spirit to be in the drum, no? So, Mridangaya Namo Namaha. I know you already know these things, Prabhuji, but I think just for the video's sake, I'm saying you know more of the philosophy than I do. But. So basic sounds, right, to make from the drum. There's we'll run through TeReKeTa quickly. I think also you know TeReKeTa already. Te. So when you do te, it's like 4 fingers together and closed, and also in the center of the drum, kind of about like this. It can be a little more like this sometimes, a little more like this, but typically center. So te, and it sticks. It's not like te, and it's not like te. Te. Yeah, it sticks, not te. It gives a sharper sound. Te. And then re, right, is like with the thumb. Re. Also center. Re. So more like more like in the center, no? Not like this, not like this, like this. Re. And also it sticks. Re. Yeah, not like re. Re. And also this will help for then when you're doing like TeReKeTa DhaGurGur. If you do the beats that will come is if you're te, it sticks. Re, sticks. It's not like te, re, no, te, re. The hand only moves this much. Te, re. Or in playing in Kirtan, this is a closed style to play. So TeReKeTa becomes actually useful in playing because it you could be like tere 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 tere. Or, you know, like it can become te 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 te, which is like te 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 with the finger, with this finger, right? Instead of the thumb. Thumb is more closed style, right? Like Da Guru Guru Da Dini, Da Guru Guru Da Dini. like ta te 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 ta te ne ta te 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 ta te. That's more like open style. So TeReKeTa is a practice mantra to make the hands move. Essentially, it's so TeReKeTa helps us with counting, right? With counting the beats, but it also helps with making the wrist move properly. And then the wrist starts to, you want like this kind of motion, no? The wrist starts to move like this. So TeReKeTa trains the wrist te, re, and then ke. No? Yeah, ke is like close sound. The for ge is another beat, like open. Ge can be like this, ge, or it can be more like ge, more muted. Try like this. Exactly. So this is useful for like it can be like you know, there's like this kind of like louder, the hand sticks a little more. So ge can be anything from to more open or less, yeah, longer or shorter. And your playing will start to become more like dynamic, up, down, have more range if you like explore more open ge or more closed ge. So also same thing with ke. Same thing with ke. And all of the different hits for te can be like te, or it can be like te. There's range, you know, exactly. And for ke can be more like closed, or ke can also be more like, watch, here's a range. Ke can even be a little bit. This is also ke. Or just totally closed. Yeah, so in TeReKeTa, and also ke is a little more, the hand is a little more like this, right? For ge, hand is a little more like this, and it can be like here, or it can be kind of more down here. It can be like this, yeah, it can be like this, or up too, either way. So TeReKeTa, ta is ta, yeah. So ta, exactly, and so for ta, it's like even the hand can stick on the drum like ta. Yeah, exactly. So or TeReKeTa, when you're playing in Kirtan, ta can be more ta. You know, like it can be, you can do like that a little more, depending on what are you playing. If you're like ta te tu ti ta ke din ta din ta din ta ta, you know, then you can take the hand away a little more. And also, like if you hit, you want to bring the sound out of the drum. You if you hit like this, there's some muting. It's like if you're talking like this, then the voice is more muted. But if you're talking like this, then so same thing. You bring the sound out of the drum, and then there's, you know, this is up hit ta, and there's also downstroke ta, you know. So ta can be three or four fingers open, ta, or ta, like that, exactly. So you know exactly, you're already doing. Or ta can be one finger, ta. And this can be centered like this, or it can be a little more up. Typically it's good to, for this one finger, good to have center also, like te, and there's also ta. So TeReKeTa, te, re, te, ta, te, re, te, ta, te, re, te, ta, te, re, te, ta, te, re, ta, te, re, te, ta, te, re, te, ta, te, re, te. So for practicing, TeReKeTa is the traditional way to learn this first mantra on Mridanga is to do te, re, te, ta slowly, maybe some minutes, however long, maybe, you know, my teachers would tell me do, you know, 5-10 minutes slow, 5-10 minutes faster, 5-10 minutes, but it depends on also how is your...
You still now do the same?
No, not every day. Sometimes if my hands need a workout, then I'll still do. But I mean, I did plenty of TeReKeTa practicing.
This is also good.
But you're also you're already playing. So this is the second mantra. So yeah, so for TeReKeTa, different speeds, you know, and eventually you'll be able to be like TeReKeTa, 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 TeReKeTa. So your hand becomes more like each stroke is like powerful. You know, like this is the idea. It makes your hands strong. TeReKeTa teaches a little bit of rhythm, but also is more of a practice beat. You wouldn't in Kirtan. How would you use TeReKeTa in Kirtan? It would be like for T-high. TeReKeTa Da, TeReKeTa Da, TeReKeTa Da, TeReKeTa Da. Exactly. So TeReKeTa. There's also DhaGurGur. Da ginna ginna da, ginna ginna da, ginna da, ginna ginna da, ginna ginna da, ginna da, ginna ginna da, ginna ginna da. So you know this one. Da ginna ginna da, ginna ginna da, ginna da. So this is like second practice beat, and this one's more open. Da ginna ginna da, ginna ginna da, ginna, or it can be more closed. Da ginna ginna da, ginna ginna da, ginna ginna da, ginna da, ginna da. The same as TeReKeTa. Tere, like tere is da ginna da ginna. Wait, sorry. Da ginna ginna da, and this side's just da ginna ginna da, ginna da. So then it becomes DhaGurGur, or DhaGurGur is DhaGurGur.
Gurgur.
Yeah.
This is more fast.
Gurgur is it's like it's like two tete or like a tere. It's like going tere tere. It's like actually no. I'm sorry. It's da gin and again da gin and again da gin and da gin and again da gin and again and again. It goes da gin and again da gin and again da get da gin and again da gin and again da get da gin and again da gin and again da get da. A little bit different than you're doing. It goes da gin and again da gin and again da get da instead of get da. You're going get da. It goes get da upstroke. Yeah, or middle stroke slash up. So da gin and again da gin and again da get da gin and again da gin and again da. You see how it ends like this? Get da da. You know what I mean? And so it's center stroke. Get da da gin and again da gin and again da get da da gin and again da gin and again da get da. You see that? Yeah, da gin and again da gin and again da get da. Exactly. So it's like middle. Instead of ending like this, you end like this middle. Exactly. So those are essentially the two
Hasta Satana.
Hasta Sadhana. Yeah, those are the two main hand practice mantras.
Hit.
Creates a, makes it, yeah, it helps you make the right sounds of the drum. But also it seems you already are practicing these. So I'll move on. So Adi Tal, right? There's Adi Goravinam, Adi Purusham, there's Adi Guru, there's Adi Yogi, Shivji, there's Adi, you know, he's the first, the primordial beat, right? Like the foundational beat. Adi Tal is also called Prabhupada beat, which is also called, it's also called, in North Indian music, it's called Teen Tal, 16 beat, or it's called Dashpahira Taal.
Dashpahira Taal. I heard Prabhupada beat and Dashpahira Taal.
Dashpahira Taal is 16 beats, so it goes, and counting, right? Like how you count mantras on your hands, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, right? So it's amazing that the human body is also set up in such a way that, you know, 16, it's divine mathematics are also in our bodies as well. The number of teeth that we have, etc. You know, it's no mistake. It's actually quite amazing, you know, Krishna's creation, you know. So, so 16 beats. So it's like da ge uru dit dit ta a ki da din na ta. So da is like more like da right? Da de uru dit dit ta ki din da din da din da ta e uru dit dit da e uru dit dit ta ki din da din da din da ta. There's many variations of this. You can be like da e uru dit dit ta ki din da din da din da ta. It's like da e uru dit dit ta ki din da din da din da ta. So that's one way to play it. Typically, it's shown da e uru dit dit ta ki din da din da din da, and you know din da or din da, or you know, even it can be like din da da. There's many variations, but I think the most important, like your other teacher's showing you, like he learns by listening. What does it sound like? So also it's like, I know that you already play this beat, but I think that what I heard in your playing yesterday is I think that you can play it many ways. It can be like da de dit dit ta dit din da din da din da ta de uru dit dit ta dit din da din da din ta pa de uru dit dit ta dit din da din da din da ta de uru dit dit ta dit din da din da din ta, or just ta e guru dit dit ta dit din da din da din da da guru dit dit ta dit din da din da din da da. You don't even have to play. Even this side could just be da de uru dit dit ta din da din da din da da e uru dit dit ta. It can be as much or as little. Mantra is there, like as long as the mantra is playing. Da de uru dit dit ta ki din da din da din da ta. Well, I was just counting half, so that was okay. So da uru dit dit ta ki din da din da din da ta. If you're if the mantra is in your head, in your mind, it's playing. You know, if the mantra is playing, then you don't have to literally play that beat. You know, it can be different. What you're playing is different. So I think the most important thing with this is the mantra playing and knowing when is 1 and knowing when is 16. right? And then one is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 1, 2, 3. And then one is also nice. It's nice to like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9. So I think that the main accent, or the strongest, most essential what is it called, numbers in this beat, in the 16 beat for Dashpahira Taal is it keeps everyone together in together if you can accent 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and then 1. So 1, 5, and 9. Yeah, so like 1 is like 1 typically. It would be dha, or you can also call it ja, but I mean mantra can vary. It's the idea is that it's 1 is typically like a, it's either open or closed open, or so it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 can be like 5, or it also can be this. Yeah, it can be nak. So nak we'll work on the nak sound later, but I think so you typically 5 will be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 is typically like a big he, like a big clap, like 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 1. And then the 13, 14, 15, 16 is usually like a 13, 14, 15, 16, 1, 2, 3, like the drum's very high right now. I'm sorry, I could usually if there's a little bit of water I make a better sound, but actually maybe we can switch. Actually, yeah, let me switch. But here, so I'll show you. Typically, yeah, thanks. I play this Dashpahira Taal 16 beat, Adi Taal. Like yeah, there's many variations, and I think that each player has their own ways to play it. You can even experiment, or it can be like din da din da da, or it could be like din da din da da. There's variations, Da de uru dit dit da dit dit din da din da din da da de uru. Uru is like it's kind of like there's da guru guru, but I think that many times there's no need to do uru. This is the way they teach it, but I think in Kirtan it's you can play it differently. But if you're thinking in your mind, da uru dit dit da dit dit din da din da din da. So look, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So also 9 can be like open too. I think it's good to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So this is open. 9 is also open and closed. This can be a little bit more open ke, or a little bit more closed ke. Closed ke, or open ke. You hear that? So any variation. But yeah, so I think it's like da de uru dit dit da dit din da din da din da de uru dit dit da ta da e uru tit tit ta dit din da din da din da ta. So this ta uru tit tit ta is also an important stroke in the rhythm. So what would that be? Da ta e uru ti ti ta ke. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2. Wait. Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah. So 7 is also ta. This is important. So it's like da e uru ti da e uru ti ti da. So also this ta before the 9. So the 7 is more like a ta, and then the 9 is like a ke. So it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So it's like kind of like the 5 is like, it's like a pyramid, right? Like 5, it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 is like the peak. So it's like you're building up to the 9. So it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This is like the top of the pyramid. It's like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and then 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. It's like a leading back to the next 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 1. Yeah. 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, I think hopefully that will help, that there's like, and whichever version you've learned, like there's different versions, like da e uru di di da ke ke din da din da din da da. This is maybe more simple. Ke ke din da din da din da da, or din da din da da. Either. I think the most important thing is it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 1. So 1 is an accent hit. 5 is an accent hit. It can be like either 5 or it can be like 5. 7 is ta da er uru ti ti ta is 7. Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then 9. So 1, 5, 7, and 9 are the key. Those are the key loud hits. And if you can emphasize those, if you can emphasize those strokes, then the rest of it you can make it your own. Different. You can make it different, but if you're accenting those hits, it keeps the tal. It makes the Dashpahira Taal. It makes it like it communicates the tal. So then devotees know, oh, okay, we're playing 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. You know, we're playing da uru ti ti da. Okay, you know, Hare Krishna, Hare. Yeah. Otherwise, if you're playing, it's not so clear. Then devotees don't know. Are we doing ching chicka ching chicka? Like they're like what's that? They don't know. Also for this Dashpahira Taal, I like to start for Kirtan. Usually, in most times in the temples, in ISKCON temple, Gaudiya Vaishnava temples, it varies, but a lot of times if devotees are playing harmonium, or typically 24-hour kirtan style, people have played in 24-hour kirtan, usually they'll start with with no rhythm. You know, they'll just start slow. You know, slowly they'll start with no rhythm, and then maybe chanting one Maha Mantra, and then everyone responds one Mahamantra. Then maybe next time the rhythm comes in, or maybe it's one Mahamantra response, one Mahamantra response, and then they start to cue, you know, like you know, you'll see like whoever's playing harmonium will start to kind of say, and then the rhythm can kind of come in, and you can kind of come in like you know, maybe like it's like Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna. You know what I mean? Then the drum comes, but typically it's like it doesn't just start, you know, unless maybe it's arti or something. Someone's playing gong or a kartal, and they're just like you know, like sometimes you can just start, you know, there's different ways to do, but typically in ISKCON it's like play they'll chant one time maybe, and then the drum will come in, you know, you listen to who's singing, and then oh, okay, so he's like playing Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna. Maybe for arti maybe starting fast, you know, why not? But for like typically for kirtan, you'll start in 16 beat, Dashpahira Taal, and also slow. The slower I prefer to play in such a way where there's something called laya, you know, like lay. If someone's laying down, they're laying flat. Like it's if you lay a if you're making a wall with bricks, they call it laying a foundation, right? So laya is like this is a Sanskrit word that also is in other languages too. I'm not sure about your languages, but in English at least, this Sanskrit root has made its way into our language as well. So laya is like it's the foundation tempo, right? Like you have a metronome, tick tock, tick tock. This is like metronome. So laya is also like a metronome, and is also like the foundational count. So if we start kirtan with the laya more fast, it produces a different feeling. If we're producing it, you know, typically starting with the laya faster is more for like maybe arti, or maybe like a shorter song. Maybe we play for 5 minutes, you know, something we're gonna chant, you know, Jaya Jaya Radha Krishna Yugala Milan, you know, like something like this. Maybe for artis we start 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you know what I mean? But if you're starting for like a long kirtan, you know, maybe you're gonna chant kirtan, we're passing around the harmonium, taking turns to chant. If you're starting like da uru dit da dit din da din da din da 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It's just like a little bit too fast, no? It's just it's a little bit stressful actually, devotees, because and then you become tired quicker. Quicker you want to stop, you know. So if we're starting with the laya like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 1, 2, or actually, well, sorry, I was clapping. It would be more like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. 1. You know what I mean? That's a more comfortable speed. Yeah, and also it opens more variation for the
Flow.
yeah, like you've heard like how in and also just listen to you know obviously Ayendra Prabhu's kirtans and others, and you can pick up all the work that this Prabhu did and all those devotees did. You know, it makes its way into you know, the style of what the kirtan has become. You know, him, you know, studying traditional Gaudiya Vaishnav kirtan, studying, you know, some music as well. It's made his way into like what he offered, and I think that of course Ayanja Prabhu is a good way to listen. Listen how he chants and how the drummers play with him, and others. The others in ISKCON now, like many good like examples of kirtan are there. But I think that if we're starting slower, for sit down kirtan, we want to be meditating, we want to be chanting. People should feel comfortable to meditate, to sit, to feel not rushed. Like they're not like they can sit and they're kind of like looking like what is going on. They're like, no, you want people to feel like this, no? So I think like starting with a more comfortable laya, a more comfortable tempo is nice. And typically the laya doesn't change typically until maybe it's tastefully, like intentionally you want to increase the tempo, maybe at the end of a kirtan, like at the end, check it out, like, so it's like da it'd be like da ti da, right? You'd be like Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Exactly. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama. Here's also, which is cool, like for this style, this is like typically how you would start, right? That's how you would start a kirtan, somewhere around that tempo. Also for the Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, can be like 16 to the middle, 16 to the end. So it's for the second half of the 16 also, maybe after 4 times repetition, 8 times repetition, Maha Mantra back and forth. Then from Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare can be more like Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So there's like T high, so the different, the second half can be more T high.
Not only one time, maybe 2 times.
Like first half can be like da hit da hit din da din, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare and it's kind of like there's this build up that happens with the T high, and then it releases back into the one and back into the Hare Krishna, and then it becomes relaxed again, and then it builds up again, and then it becomes relaxed again, so. Exactly. So you have the da din TeReKeTa da, da din TeReKeTa da, da din TeReKeTa da. So so let me just finish explaining laya, and then we can move to they call it Haituti mantra, or some call it it can be used as T-high. T-high can be anything from TeReKeTa da, TeReKeTa da, TeReKeTa da, or it can be long T-highs. If you're playing slowly in the 16 beats, long T-highs can be very tastefully used. So Laya, it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there's a Purush Prakriti, right? It's this yin, yang, yin. It's like you know, Krishna, Radha, Shiva, Parvati, you know, like this. So everything has like a dynamic nature like that with the Purush and Prakriti nature. So when we count in this system of music, in this system of Kirtan, it's like 1, it's like 1, 2, right, like that. So it's like, it's also called a Sama and Kali. Kali means empty, actually. Kali can mean black. Kali can mean, like in Hindi, Kali, like Kamana, Kali Kamana is like a empty room, right? Empty room. Or like Kali Katam is like empty pot, you know? So Kali means empty, right? Like it's like first we have to be empty and listen, right? Shravanam, Kirtanam, you know? Kirtanam is a little more like Purush nature, like of action, of tangibleness, you know? Like Purush is like the more masculine nature of doing, of actualizing, of seeing something in the flesh, you know, like so that's more like Purush. But also Prakriti is a little more like the listening nature, the finer nature, the, you know, like how women get upset at men a lot of times because we're so but then we're not listening, we're not in touch with the sensitive side, right? The Prakriti, you know. So all of us, men, women, whoever we are, whatever's our, you know, identification, we need to also listen. We need to tune ourselves to get into the Prakriti nature, the unheard, the Kali nature, the emptiness, the listening. Shravanam is first, and then there's Kirtanam, right? So also, so when we're counting, that's there. So there's Sama. Sama means together. Also, Sama is like for like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's Sama. And then the Kali in the 16 beat is Ki, ding da, ding da, ding da, da. But also, that's the manifestation of the Kali in it. But actually, the Kali is the places where we're not playing, right? In Kirtan, the things that we are not doing are just as important as the things that we are. Right? So like night shift Kirtan, check it out. Like for like a night shift Kirtan, maybe you'd be like, you know, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare so there's more emptiness there, you know. But if you're playing like that for arti, people would be like where is it? Get someone else to play the drum, you know what I mean? So there's different, you know, occasions. But yeah, so Kali is like just the empty space is just as important as the playing space, and I think that that's a mistake that many newer players make, is that they think that it has to always be like Hare Krishna. Come on, you have to, you know. So anyways, but if you're, again, like if you're playing for arti, or you're out for, you know, playing in a louder space, then you have to fill the space with the sound more, you know. Otherwise people become bored, or they become disinterested, or it's a little less, you know. Or maybe Krishna's like, come on, you know, like play, you know. You know, so so okay, so Laya, I'm sorry, I need to get back to Laya. So Laya is like the tempo, the count, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So it's like 1. So that's like Da, e, uru, ti, da. Ki, ding, da, ding, da, ding, da, da. And then maybe later in the kirtan, after, some repetition, 10 minutes maybe, sometimes maybe even 15 minutes playing in Dashpahira Taal, then maybe it moves to Kaherva Taal. But the laya stays the same. Or the laya can change slightly. Sometimes if they switch from Adi Taal to the middle part of the kirtan, sometimes like you can cue and you can speed the laya up a little bit if it's tasteful. But I think that the point being is that the foundational tempo can stay the same, because then if it stays the same, then it makes doubling it easier. It makes doubling the speed easier. If you do double speed from something that's already very fast, then the double speed's too fast. But if you're doing it from a nice comfortable tempo, a nice comfortable laya, when you double the speed, it becomes easier to do. So like say if you're playing, okay, so like Kaherva, you're doing like and then double that would be these are both Kaherva. This is double, this is single. Right? So if you're playing at a comfortable tempo, yeah, like that's not too fast, right? It's like comfortable. So like that's like, yeah, that's triple speed.
Ati drut Kaherva.
Adi drut, or like
very fast.
Yeah, drut, exactly. So there's also called something called Adi Vilambi. This is in the Kayal style. In classical music, there's something called Adi Vilambi. So if you're listening to Ustad Ali Akbar Khan, Pandit Ravi Shankar, Pandit Jasraj also is a very nice singer. They'll play, a lot of times they'll open with alap, is no beat, singing, and then when the tabla comes in, they're playing an Adi Vilambi. So there's Adi Drut, which is very fast, and then there's Adi Vilambi, which is very slow. So when tabla will come in there, they're playing this 16 beat, which this can be used somewhat in our kirtan style, somewhat, but we don't typically do Adi Vilambi. We'll start in Vilambi or Dashpahira Taal, like slow but not too slow. Maybe for night shift kirtan or something, or like a kirtan jagya, like in Bengal especially, they'll do kirtan jagyas, so they'll be chanting for 7 days straight. You know what I mean? So say, of course, if you're chanting for 7 days, there's going to be times where you're probably going to be like, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare and they even will do like half of that. Even there's I'm not so expert. So some of these devotees are very expert. But that's more like, yeah, if it's a night shift maybe or something, there are times to go very, very slow, but usually usually there's not such an occasion unless we're chanting for 24 hours maybe, So anyways, yeah, so there's laya typically will stay the same, tempo, whichever you choose, because then if you double it, it's easy to double. Or if you switch from 16 beat to 8 beat, 8 beat is Kaherva Taal. Kaherva or Kaherva Taal. So Kaherva Taal, let's talk about Kaherva Taal. I'm gonna make a new video.